Hello and welcome everyone to today's Fairygodboss live webinar. We're so excited to have you all join us. We're going to give folks a few seconds to connect. And while we're waiting, we'd love to know where everyone's tuning in from today. You'll see on the right side of your screen that there's a chat box. So if you feel comfortable doing so, please send a message in the chat saying, hey, and let us know where you're joining from. I'm joining from Charlotte, North Carolina. Beautiful weather here today. Let's see where else we have people dialing in from. Okay, no, nobody's populated yet in there, so we'll give you a few more seconds to put in where you're calling in from. We're excited to know what cities across the country you guys are dialing in from. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Sabrina Brathwaite, Senior Financial Advisor at Merrill. And before we get started, I have a few quick announcements. The session will be recorded and shared via email with all registrants. And also during the discussion, we would love to hear from you. We hope you will use the stage chat on the right side of your screen to send messages, comments, and questions to the panelists and to one another. For those who do not know, Fairygodboss is the largest online career community for women. Millions of women visit Fairygodboss for career connections, jobs, community advice, hard to find intel about how companies treat women, and virtual events like this. Okay, so I see a few comments here. Looks like we have New York City, that's my hometown, and Connecticut as well, and Southern California, and Jacksonville, Florida as well. So welcome everyone for joining us. Thank you so much. Okay. So before we go ahead and get started and speaking to our panelists, I wanted to go ahead and start off and having each panelist talk a little bit about their background, where they're from, how they got started at Merrill, and just a little bit of why they decided to become a financial advisor. So I'll start with Carrie first.
Hello, everyone. My name's Carrie Cabral. I'm 31 years old. I live in Boston, Massachusetts with my boyfriend and our husky, Odie. I've been with Merrill for about 8 years, and I work in the 100 Federal Street office in downtown Boston. And personally, I'm happy that we've entered summer. This is my favorite season of the year, of course, because I love spending time outside. And right now, I'm pretty much like just trying to get as much golf in as possible. That's like what I like to do on the weekends. And for work, so I've worked for Merrill for 8 years. Professionally, I feel like I'm in a phase where I'm really focused on the growth of my book, which will continue that discussion throughout this panel. But I'd like to say that I also just love building relationships, which is a really intricate part of this career. And I've had a great time working here and establishing relationships with other advisors as well.
Thank you, Carrie. Thanks for sharing your story. And Lakeisha, I'd love to hear a little bit about you as well.
Yes, I'm Lakeisha Goin. I'm actually from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm still born and raised and live in Memphis, Tennessee, but I'm actually at the Germantown, Tennessee location. I've been working for Bank of America actually for over 16 years, and that's how I started my career. I started as a teller, I worked my way up from different positions, and now I'm a financial advisor with Merrill, and I've been with Merrill for over 6 years. Actually, that's pretty much when I think about personal life, really big, huge on family, extremely family needed with 8 siblings. And so I absolutely love to travel. But my passion is what I actually do for a living. So I like to say it's work-life harmony for me because what I do as a financial advisor, I do it whether I'm at work or whether I'm clocking in or not.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your story as well, Lakeisha. And now I'm excited to kick off today's event, how to kick off a career as a financial advisor and find the right firm for you, sponsored by Merrill. And thank you all. I'm excited about our discussion today. And for those just tuning in, I would like to remind everyone that we will be answering questions that come directly from all of you. Please submit your questions on the chat on the right of your screen, and we will do our best to respond to as many questions as we can. So my first question, and I'll start with you first, Carrie, is can you share your journey to becoming a financial advisor at Merrill? Like what inspired you to choose this career path?
Yeah, so I feel like I've had a long journey of being an advisor, but with Merrill, it's been in a couple different capacities up to this point, which has definitely made the career interesting. So I started with Bank of America as a relationship manager, which is not a licensed position, but I made it very clear in my interview that I was interested in pursuing a career as a financial advisor. So within a year, I applied and got offered the FSA role, which is a financial solutions advisor. This meant I initially had protected study time to get licensed with my Series 7 and 66. Once licensed, I worked in a couple different offices in the North Shore area. At first, a smaller bank branch, and then got promoted to work in a larger branch. So I stayed in that type of role for about 4 years. And in the last year, I was really trying to figure out like what my next move was. I knew I wanted to stay with the company, but I wanted to do more as an advisor because in that branch role, it gives you really good experience of, learning how to talk to clients, learning how to do like the planning part of it, but you get a limited amount of different investment options that you can offer. Um, Makes it really good because you can really hone in your skills and get to know what those products are to like perfect your conversations with people. But after doing it for so long, I felt like I like knew them like the back of my hand and I really wanted to learn more. So once once I got to that point, I knew it was I either wanted to like work with the partner that I had who I would basically send anyone who was needed more planning than what I could do at that branch level, up to them. And but the path like wasn't really clear at the time. So we came out with a role a few years ago called the Merrill Financial Solutions Advisor. So that really like bridged the gap between becoming a financial advisor in the branch over to becoming a full financial advisor with Merrill. So I quickly applied, and I was like one of the first few groups to complete the program. During this role, you're really focused on like making phone calls to lead lists that are provided to you by clients of Bank of America and Merrill. And we basically are like offering them a financial review to establish like your client base to them. The MFSA role gives you access to a broader platform of investment offerings, planning capabilities, and to take off almost all of the training wheels before getting onto that next like FA phase. You get about like 12 to 18 months to bring in at least 10 new households. So that would just be like new families and like $7 million in assets under management. And that's how you complete that next phase of the program. It took me 12 months to get through the program. And then I was able to move into the role that I have now, which is called ADPFA. So this role basically gives you access to all the investment offerings that we have for our clients and the ability to partner with other advisors. In this phase, you're doing your own prospecting. So you really truly feel like the CEO of your own business. And you have a time frame to build your book with the support of having a salary for up to 1 to 4 years until you bring in 25 million in assets under management. So one thing that I think is really great about that, it's like I think a lot of people will think in this role that you just kind of get thrown into, calling clients from a phone book, which is like the old way, and it's really not that. Merrill helps you every step of the way because they want to make sure that you do become successful. So it takes some of like that nervousness about, oh, is this going to be like the right career for me? If I start and I failed, then where do I go? It's not like that at all. Like you really get help every step of the way.
Thanks, Carrie, for sharing that. Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, and I was just going to say like why I wanted to go down this career path before becoming an advisor, I felt like I couldn't really like wrap my head around what the stock market was, and I really was interested in learning how to invest. So I didn't know what made it go up and down, and I was really interested in this because the thought of being like smart with your money so it can make money for you fascinated me. I was definitely determined to figure this out, and I knew it would probably have to be my career if I wanted to be an expert at it. So I knew if I was feeling this way, there were definitely a lot of people out there who were probably just as confused as I was. And to this day, one of the things I love most about doing for my clients is incorporating education when it comes to conducting their reviews. Granted, sometimes you'll have clients that know a lot about the market, but that's more like one-offs. And I feel like my clients gain confidence by being able to know like what they're invested in and how it really works. Um, and I also knew another thing with choosing this career is I wanted to be in control of my earning potential. And that's definitely something that it goes along with this career where it's the more work you put in, the more you're going to get out of it.
But thank you. Thanks, Carrie, for sharing your story. This question is for you, Lakeisha. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when starting out, your career as a financial advisor, and how did you overcome them?
So, I actually a financial solution advisor. I was hearing Carrie kind of talk about, the the route that she took and then the route that I took as well. I would say my biggest challenge. First, let me just kind of back up a little bit because she was talking about she didn't know what she wanted to do, and I was in the very same shoes. And actually, working for this company helped me because I was surrounded by a lot of mentors that you wouldn't classify initially as mentors, but you have people that keep pushing you and so forth. And so, what I did know that I was passionate about finances, and the reason why that I was passionate about finances because it was a solution to a lot of things. It helped families to survive, whether people are grieving, whether you just had your first child, with marriages, because finances can be one of the biggest issues with that, whether it helps with companies, churches, nonprofits, and so many different situations. And so I like to be impactful when I think about my purpose in life. And so as a teller, when I started off with Bank of America, I remained in that position for about 5 years. And so I didn't look at it as a challenge because I fell in love. I fell in love with the people and I fell in love with what I do. And so, but it took a leader who actually, let's just say, was a great leader who saw opportunity and saw, my ability and wanted to put me in a position that he think I'd be more effective in the company. And so he actually pushed me out of my seat, which led me to consistently being moved up and become a financial solution advisor. So coming to what was the biggest challenge as a financial solution advisor, I didn't know anything about the stock market. And so I didn't know anything about the stock market. I didn't know anything. I didn't fully understand what a stock was. But I like to be challenged. And I think that came from, the way that I was brought up. I said I had 8 siblings. So, we compete about everything when you have so many siblings. You compete who eat the fastest, so it doesn't matter what it is. So I absolutely just, if I didn't know, I wanted to know. And so if it was an area of finance that I felt like that I needed to tackle or that I didn't fully understand, or I wanted to bring back to my community or other people that didn't fully understand, I wanted to be in that room.
Oh, it looks like we might have lost Lakeisha, which is fine. I'm sure she'll come back shortly. While we're waiting on her to log back in, um, Carrie, question for you. Like, what are some of the common misconceptions about the career path of a financial advisor that you'd like to debunk?
Yeah, I think now, kind of like I was saying in my last answer, I don't know if it's because of movies or how it just used to be in the past. Um, but I think a lot of misconceptions is that you do get just thrown into an advisor role, freshly licensed with no help to really being able to like wrap your head around how to be successful. Um, and maybe it still is like this at other firms. And definitely, we know it was in the past. But the way that the development programs at Merrill are designed really set you up to be able to make money while you're learning and getting established, which I think is super important, as well as access to other successful advisors who, in my experience working for this company, always have their door open to sharing knowledge about what you need to do to be a successful advisor. A lot of the times when I was first starting out, I would go to them to maybe give a pitch that I was about to give to a client and just wanted to run it by them, run the plan that I put together by them. And everyone has been, more than willing to help me with that, even if they weren't going to benefit from it at all. So I think that being surrounded by a really good community in this company is one of the things that I don't think a lot of advisors know that they would have that support. So I think that's definitely one of the misconceptions. And then I also think just leaning towards like females, but I think sometimes it could seem intimidating just going into a male-dominated industry. But I really do think that that's changing, and a lot of the male advisors see women and having a bigger part of this space. And a lot of the male teams here are dying to have a woman on their team because of what we're representing and bringing to the table. And so I think that we actually have a huge advantage in this type of career.
Perfect. Thank you, Carrie. Welcome back, Lakeisha. We can't understand what technology is going to do, but I would like you to finish your thought around your challenges that you overcame that question before we go on to the next question.
All right, so I really don't know where it cut off.
Yeah, okay.
But I would say I was at the part where I didn't know anything about the stock market. Did y'all hear that part?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, that was my biggest challenge. It was the knowledge part. But what the company did, they took us through a program where they licensed us while they still paid us a salary, so we'll be able to, yet pay our bills and so forth, which was amazing to me, the opportunity. And they also trained us and taught us and put us around, other mentors and people that was very advanced in their knowledge. And then it's really what you put into it yourself. And so I had to do a lot of self-education myself. I reached out to others and, just basically, I always a person that asks questions anyway, but asked a lot of questions, but I became comfortable, as much as I, engaged with more education around it. So I say my biggest challenge was what I didn't know, but even though it was a challenge, it didn't stagnate me because I love learning what I did not know. I love treading territory that I never been before. So I'm growth motivated. So I absolutely love those type of challenges as well. And it's a fulfillment within itself because I'm growing, I'm learning. I have something else to bring to others that can change lives, not just a paycheck within itself. And so that was the biggest challenge, but at the same time, that was an amazing accomplishment for me too.
Okay, thank you. Inspiring. Okay, I'm going to ask this question for you too, Lakeisha. What are some of the skills that are essential for excelling in your role? What are some of the skills that you need to have to be successful?
I would say relationship building. So of course, it's good to have the organization skill set. It's good to be knowledgeable, experienced as a financial advisor. People definitely want to know how long you've been a financial advisor before I give you my hard-earned money. Um, Especially though, I can't just say the more that they have, even though they have, something to do with it, but as well as how hard they work for it. So they do want to know about your experience. And so I had to use my whole finance experience because I've been a financial advisor for 6 years. But more than anything, I would say your ability to get your clients to trust you. Because beyond how long your experience has been, beyond just the knowledge, if they trust that you'll do what's in their best interest and you'll put their interest above your own, satisfaction, your own pockets and so forth, they'll choose you. And so that's why it's the most essential because there's a lot of financial advisors. And then we have a lot of competitors as well. They have a lot of more financial advisors. And so now they're choosing who they can trust. And so another thing is the reason why I say that it's so essential because people only want to tell you what they think they need to tell you to get what they need from you.
Mhm.
But when you allow them to become comfortable, and if you allow me to say, become a little financial vulnerable, where they'll be able to talk about things that's uncomfortable, to talk about debt, that's uncomfortable, to
Mhm.
talk about some of the financial struggles they had, it becomes uncomfortable, especially they talk to a financial advisor because in their head, you got everything together. So they only
Mhm.
want to talk to you about what their accomplishments were and how great their credit is or how big their retirement account is. But they don't want to tell you how, their private school is actually taking all their money and how they fear that they may not have enough money for the living assistance home they may have because of the embarrassment. But allow them to feel like this is a safe place. So that's what's essential to allow you to be successful as a financial advisor because you're not trying to just get them to open up accounts with you. You're trying to change their lives where they won't have those fears anymore and they're able to rest at night. So you're like their financial doctor. So to
Mhm.
me, that's what's the most comfortable building that relationship where they can trust you and not just getting their trust, but allow it to be real, where it can be a safe place. And then they're going to tell everybody about it. You don't have to worry about where are my clients, do I have enough? They're going to bring it to you because you are rare and you are distinguishable because of who you are.
Thank you. Great answer. Before we go on to a question from our audience, are there any skills that you feel are essential, Carrie, for the success in your role?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Lakeisha said. Even sometimes, I joke when people ask about, what I do for work. I'm like, I'm a financial advisor slash therapist because you really do have to be able to like build deep relationships with people and then they tell you everything, which is good because, it really helps you like build an actual, plan that's going to work for them and really help them. But in order to get there, you definitely have to like gain that trust so that you can be able to, give them that sound advice from learning really everything that they have going on. Some essential skills that I think are important too, and it kind of just plays into what Lakeisha said as well, is having confidence. So even in the relationship building, I feel like you have to come across as a confident advisor because it's like, I know if you open up to me and you are telling me all these things that I'm going to be able to give you a solution. But then you also need to have confidence in your delivery too. Once you do come up with that recommendation, um, and give it to them, which it's not only confidence, but you have to have the ability to continue to learn and um, always always be like doing research pretty much like there's so many new things that happen every day in this business, so you have to be pretty diligent in staying on top of what those things are. Always be willing to learn and not just get stuck in a one-way street because there will be a lot of different advisors coming up with other solutions, and if you're not bringing those solutions to the clients who it could fit for, you might not be doing what's best for them. So I think you always have to, be willing to learn. You've got to be able to put yourself out there and then just have the confidence in your delivery when you are making recommendations.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. Thank you. So I'm going to take a question from one of our audience members. Christine, thank you for asking your question. Either of you can answer this question. Are financial advisors mainly young people, or would it be doable for a woman with 15 years of experience in equity investing to switch and become a financial advisor?
So,
Um,
no.
Lakeisha, do you want me to take it?
Okay, go ahead, Carrie. And
Or?
then
I mean, I think that so the average age of advisors, I think right now is like 65. So there is I don't know if they actually call it this, but there is like a great age gap right now in the financial advisor world. You know, a lot of advisors have been here forever, and no one was really starting their career in this um, on this career path. And I think part of the disconnect was because there weren't really like training programs like Lakeisha and I have been able to go through that really were like developed maybe in the last like 5 to 10 years. A lot of the other ones weren't as successful because there wasn't like a support along the way like there is now. So I would not think of, you know, starting this career at X amount of time in your life is, you know, going to be detrimental. Um, but if you were in equity investing and you're kind of in this space really of being in the financial markets, that might be beneficial to you. And you know, if you have that background, it might be easier for you to kind of like start up in this career. But it definitely is something where like, you know, it's a buildable career. Like once you start, you're really building from there. So, but no, I think that would totally be doable.
Lakeisha, you have more to add to that?
Yes, absolutely agree. No, everyone is not young. Actually, Carrie's 31 and I'm 41. So you see the different. If it was more people on here, they probably tell you I'm 50 something, I'm 60 something. So it's a wide range of age. We actually just onboarded someone that's in their 50s. And the customers absolutely love her because she just have a genuine presence about herself. She's someone that's from Nigeria, so people from all over the world absolutely love it. But even from the space that you're coming, Carrie said it pretty well, that you really already exposed to it. So transitioning over, it'll be a great transition. Just like I said, I came strictly from banking. So that was completely like investment, stock market was completely new for me. And I'm not afraid to, to be challenged to learn other things because as long as you're passionate about it, anytime somebody asks me about a new career change, I'm like, is this something that you really want to do? Let me know your why. Let me help understand your why. If it's just for more money, then that won't be a good reason for your why, especially when you start taking them license. You're like, why am I doing this again? Um, but if it's something that you're really passionate about, then absolutely great time, even for the transition, because it don't just help your clients, it helps you yourself and it helps the people that's around you and so forth.
Thank you, Lakeisha. Thank you. Lakeisha, coming back to you with another question, like what opportunities for growth and advancement exist within Merrill for financial advisors?
Different routes. Like I said, I'm a financial solution advisor. And so let me just tell you, make that a little clear what my role entails. I still work for Bank of America where I do checking and savings account and so forth for my preferred clients that at least have 20,000 3-month average balance or more. And then I also work on the Merrill side, which is my main role, whereas I do stocks, bonds, mutual funds, different things like that, investing, retirement, and so forth. And so the reason why that I have the capability of still doing on the banking side is because if my clients come in for the retirement and they need to hurry up and open up a checking account, I can do it all. So I love the fulfillment of that. So the opportunity to transition from this role, I can actually do what Carrie do, become a financial advisor. They have programs that actually help you to transition to be a financial advisor because you building there are different let's say platforms and systems that you use to as being a financial advisor. So they want you to learn that, they want you to help build your clientele, so they give you time for that while Merrill consistently pay for you or pay you even for your time of investing in you, what I like to call it, what they're doing. Another route, actually what I'm considering, has been a market leader. That's actually a market leader is over financial solution advisor, or a market leader can be over financial advisors. And so, who my manager is, that's another next step as well. In our role, to be honest, you can go so many different routes. Your license alone actually makes you extremely marketable. And so the thing is, I have so many phone calls about job opportunities. And of course, it's a lot of outside, 'cause my competitors trying to take me in, take my clients away. But I consistently, like I said, I've been here over 16 years. I consistently choose Merrill for a reason. It's because of the support system that we have. One of the reasons why I'm considering market leader, because my region executive reached out to me and asked me, hey, what do you think about, let's cultivate your leadership? The opportunity is not just there, but you have people that's consistently pushing you. So, like I said, we have the ADP role, we have the financial advisor, we have private banking role, we have I have another financial solution advisor. He actually became academy manager. So really, it's so many different roles that you can't just limit it. But once you become a financial solution advisor or financial advisor, you can go so many different routes.
Thank you, Lakeisha. Thank you. And Carrie, what advice would you give to someone considering a career as a financial advisor?
I think someone considering like getting into this career path, as far as like advice, like to kind of go on, had a thought about what Lakeisha was saying when it comes to like the different routes too that you can take, as well as like education and advancement. So within Merrill, like even once you become a financial advisor, you can really like tailor this job or your like practice to be like what you're interested in. There's like a supported designations program within Merrill for you to get extra licenses on top of just your regular Series 7 and 66, which is your investor's license to become an advisor. And you can go into, say if you wanted to focus on clients who were in sports and entertainment, there's a designation for that where Merrill will support you and give you tuition reimbursement for taking that extra license. You could focus on retirement planning. Like I did a chartered retirement planning consultant. So, I learned a lot more about like Social Security and what people who transitioning into retirement really need to focus on. And that's helped me in my career. You can focus on, maybe learning more about people who are going through like divorces, what they need to know when it comes to financial planning. So if you want to focus on like a certain, niche market, that's one thing that, they'll help you advance your career in that way. And then they also have like tuition reimbursement, say if you wanted to go back to school to complete a master's degree or something like that. So that's one thing I was thinking is really good when it comes to career progression. And then when you think about, if you're thinking about becoming an advisor, I'd say my advice is, this career, I feel like it does take a lot of like passion. Like you really do have to be like passionate about this job, passionate about connecting with people, really being able to like help them and improve their lives. Because when a client signs on with it, like you're holding a lot of keys for them, right? Like they're putting their trust in you that you're going to be able to help them achieve what they want in retirement, help them leave the legacy to their kids that they want to leave, or help their kids get through college. So it definitely, I would say, take on this role with a lot of like responsibility. And you can also like have fun with it too. Like I'm involved with a lot of groups that are, focused on things that I like to do. Like I'm in like a women's golf league, and I've met some clients through just going out to things with them. Like it's fun, but then I also meet people doing it, as well as like a women's foundation that focuses on helping women, mentor women, and we have a big like mentorship program to just help women in business like progress their careers. And I've gotten the opportunity to meet other clients like through that channel, but it's also something that I'm interested in, so it's fun for me. So I think that my advice would be like, going into this career, think about the things that you're passionate about and try to incorporate them, and what kind of advisor you want to be.
Good. Thank you, Carrie. We're going to take a few more questions in a minute, so please do not forget to ask your questions in the chat. But before we take additional questions from the audience, do have a question for you, Lakeisha. How important is company culture when choosing where to start your career as a financial advisor? And what specific aspects Merrill's culture appeal to you?
Okay, so I think we all agree it's extremely essential. And I always tell people I don't just when I go to interviews, I interview the company as well, even though I've been with this company forever. But I did research on this company extensively before I started. So it's very important. Things that I look for is things that represent me, making sure that the company culture is part of respect and fairness, the trust, the growth mindset, because you hear a lot of me talking about that I'm very growth motivated, the employee engagement as well, and advancement with the opportunities. Diversity. I absolutely love working for this company strictly because there is a lot of diversity, and the diversity goes with inclusiveness as well, and trying to be we intentional with that. And so what the things that I like for Bank of America once in Merrill, it's called Bank of America Merrill. What I love the most, and I learned after I worked for the company, is how they empower you to hear your ideas,
Mhm.
and the 360 coaching as well. So it helps you to realize that I'm not just an employee. I'm a leader. I'm a contributor to this company, and so they actually have a portal where everybody can include their ideas of how something can be done better, and they actually review those ideas and they will actually implement it. If it will help our company all together. We are able to start different organizations to make sure that every different ethnic race, everybody is included. And so it's something that our company will allow us to do something about it if we see that there is an issue. And of course, they have to review it and approve it and make sure that it aligns with their standards. And so the culture is very extremely important, and even the accountability that I like that our company have. So sometimes, you have different leaders, and you have a huge company like this. You may have a leader that, let's just say, for instance, my father, he passed in 2018 around the time that I was actually going through my license program. If I would have had a leader that, wouldn't have allowed me to take out time to actually grieve and have that mental capacity because of the culture of my company, they would have overrode that and made sure my job was safe and gave me all the space, that I needed to be able to get myself together first, to have my mental state together, because we can't help anyone if we not at a place that, we able to give ourselves. And so company culture is extremely important. Another thing too, that I even look for my company is to make sure like I said, I like to consistently have advancement opportunities to move up, but I can't move up in a company if they don't have the opportunities there. If they're not consistently growing, if they're not consistently trying to be two steps ahead of their competitors. So I learned a lot within this company too, just by working for this company.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Lakeisha. Now I'm going to take a couple of questions from our audience. Either one of you can answer. Are Merrill financial advisors required to act as fiduciaries for their clients?
Yes. So all of that, sorry, as a company and as advisors here, our company is a fiduciary company. So that just means that we, act in the best interest of our clients. And yes, we're all required to do that. Do that.
Thank you, Carrie. Next question is, and we get this question often, do you need to have a degree in finance or business administration to become a financial advisor? Lakeisha looks like she has an answer.
Okay, so that you do not have to. Like sometimes you may see where it may require a finance degree, but you don't have to. And the reason why I know, because we have actually hired a few people that's, financial advisors. Now, what they do look for, and I would say how you able to actually get ahead of the other applicants is start getting your license. Like the SIE is something you can get without being sponsored. The 66 is something that you can get without being sponsored. So it's I actually have a lot of people that come to me talking to me about how can I become a financial solution advisor. This is the next step that I want to take. So you don't have to, just direct answer, you do not have to have a degree to actually become a financial advisor or a financial solution advisor.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Uh, this person has 10 years of experience in apparel product development, wanted to pivot into private wealth management, and has friends who are CFAs at firms like Merrill. Are there any recommendations to start as a client service associate? So I guess our client associates, like in our Merrill office, they're trying to figure out how to get their foot in the door through roles at Bank of America. And do you recommend another route to pursue this career path? So before one of you answers, I will say to Wen, thank you for this question. You can definitely go to bankofamerica.com/careers and see what client associate roles we have there. But Lakeisha or Carrie, any insight around that question?
Yeah, so I actually think that getting your foot in the door as being like a client service associate is actually a great way to kind of start your career. Just getting to know this business, because basically the client service associates, they learn everything about the systems. So sometimes even coming in as like an advisor, you actually will more be like learning on the job the systems that you need to like get your clients set up with accounts and things like that. Whereas with the client service associate role, you're having like dedicated time to learn that. You know how all the systems work. You'll be able to observe advisors. And even in the training program that I just graduated, the Merrill Financial Solutions Advisor, we had some people who started that role that just came from being a client associate. And I feel like they had a little bit of an advantage because they already knew all the systems. I was going to them to find out, how to do certain things, where I had been an advisor already maybe a few years longer than them, just because it does take a while to learn all that stuff. So I think that's a really great way to start. And then we'll give you a leg up once you do get to that advisor part.
I absolutely agree with Carrie. And also being a CSA for financial advisors, it allows you to see what they do every day. And what it allows you to do is to see, is this really what I want to do for my next set of years. So and you have to work with the same clients that they work with. You get to hear their conversations. So you have no better seat than a CSA, to try to have your career path to be a financial advisor, because you consistently side by side with them. You said that you already know some people that work with the Merrill and other leaders and so forth. So I say continue to network with them. I see that we post a lot of positions on LinkedIn too, which is a professional website. So when you see those postings, apply for it. Don't be hesitant to do it, because sometimes if you feel like sometimes people want to already know everything before they apply for a position, and you don't have to know everything. Just apply and be confident that you can learn and actually do the work, which you can, because we do we do training, but sometimes you do have to just jump in and start learning. They know that it's new exposure to you. But LinkedIn is a good way too, because our company do a lot of posting our positions that's available.
Thank you,
And one
Lakeisha.
thing,
Go ahead,
I'll
Carrie.
add one more thing to that. Yeah, even if you are thinking of doing the CSA position, getting like that SIE license will still help you, in that as well, because there are licensed CAs too.
Thank you. And I caught it as a KEP. I started as a CA, so great way to start for sure. Great way. Um, Another question here. I think the answer to this may be no. Does Merrill have the same FA programs and opportunities in London, England? Don't believe the answer to that question is yes, but we can take that question away and definitely get back with you. I thank you for that question, Christine. And I think, Christine, you're also asking if you have an MBA, will that be a disadvantage? Um, I would say the answer is no. I don't know if one of you ladies want to take that, but I have an MBA and I'm an advisor. So I think that answers
Yeah,
no.
I think that would be an advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Good, thank you. And good, this is a great question here. Do you recommend beginning with Bank of America or Merrill?
If you want to be a fun, if you can be it depends on what you want to do, right? If you know you want to be a financial advisor, I do like the financial solution advisor role. So that's Bank of America, Merrill. That's both, right? So I like that as a start off. And the reason why I like it, but you can do either way. So that's kind of a tough one right there
Yeah,
because yeah, it depends on, what do you want to do? Because Carrie, she's going through the ADP program and you could start off that way too.
mhm,
So you really don't have to. And then you will only focus on being a financial advisor in that role instead of learning the banking side as well.
okay, thank you. Carrie, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'd say that like the difference between starting off in the bank versus starting off with Merrill. Starting off in the bank, it depends like how what your background is, I'd say, because if you're really focused on being an advisor and you want to get there quicker and you have some like customer service or finance experience in your background, maybe, and you're looking to be an advisor, I'd say, go for like Merrill. If you're really starting to like just want to get started in this type of career path, but you don't have the background and you want to like, learn how to build rapport with people. If you were looking to do the financial solutions advisor role, which I think is a great role to really help you like start learning how to be an advisor without all the pressure at first. Um, then going from like learning the bank products, applying to be a financial solutions advisor, and spending some time there before going to the Merrill side where you don't have as much support with like getting the clients. When you're in the bank, the clients are walking in the door, and a lot of the bankers are helping route the right client. Whereas if you start in the Merrill side, you're more like calling clients, kind of like warm leads who may have like Bank of America accounts or Merrill accounts, and we think that they're good candidates for our investment platform. So it really depends like where your comfortability is with like talking to people about that type of thing and learning about the platform. So two different routes. I wouldn't say one's better than the other. It really depends what you're looking to do.
Let me add this really quick because Carrie did hit a really good point. In my role as a financial solution advisor, sometimes we do find people that come from the financial advisor development route to try to become a financial solution advisor. And the reason why, because our clients walk into the door and then we have people refer directly to us. So I have more face-to-face opportunities. In Carrie's shoes, she have to do a lot of calling her clients. And so, and what'll make a big difference too, if you're around a lot of mass affluent clients already, if you know a lot of clients that, let's say high potential clients. But if you don't, and you're really starting off from scratch, it's better to start off as a financial solution advisor because with me, I can help a client that have $1,000 with their management of their money. Carol, don't you have to start off with 250,000 or is it 500,000? Which one is it?
250,000, yeah.
250,000. And so I have, of course, my audience is wider because I can help a person start from anywhere. And I have more face-to-face opportunity. versus Carrie have to do more calling. So she have to perfect her conversation even more because just think about you. If somebody call you, how likely are you to start business unless they start saying the right thing that caught your attention? They have to be effective. But with me, if you see me, you more comfortable with, engaging more because I'm in a Bank of America building as well. So it has this different carry position, have a different challenge. So if you already have that exposure to mass affluent clients, and we do give you clients to call, and they are Bank of America and Merrill clients, and so we still give you opportunity, but sometimes it's a challenge for people.
Thank you, Lakeisha. Now we're in our last 9 minutes. So we're in a home stretch now. So this is going to be our lightning round. So I want to make sure both of you answer these questions. So just give me a minute or two on your answers. Great information. So Fairygodboss has a tradition of asking its panelists the following. What have you observed is that what we've observed is that women do not feel comfortable enough bragging or taking ownership of all of the amazing things that they achieve. Share with us an accomplishment, personal, professional, that you're most proud of. And we can start with you, Carrie, and then go to Lakeisha.
I guess I didn't have one ready in my head, so I'll say, one accomplishment that I do feel really proud of, and it's like, recent with being in this kind of like development role as an advisor, is when I came in for the MFSA role, like I mentioned in the beginning, you have a 12 to 18 months where you need to hit those numbers to be able to graduate that program. And, I was like one of the only women who was even in my group of, advisors who were starting. So and I'm pretty sure I'm the first one that hit it out of my group. And even there was a group before me that came in, and I actually had one of the guys as like my mentor, and he graduated a month like after me. Started a month before me, graduated a month after me. So I think that not letting like just being a woman in this industry affect me at all. I was, he was like my mentor. I was trying to keep up with anyone around me, whether it was a male or female. And, I'm really proud that I was able to like graduate within the 12 months because they try and get everyone to that.
Yes.
And it's not the easiest. I've talked to a lot of MFSAs here, and I've tried to help. Try to mentor a lot of the people who started after me. And yeah, it's definitely a challenging role. So I am proud of that accomplishment.
Congrats. That's great, Carrie. How about you, Lakeisha?
So I'm not just proud, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I told you all consistently that I'm purpose driven. To actually be doing a job, career move that I love. I honestly don't feel like that I'm working. So sometimes I look up and like, how did I end up here? Because, and what I mean by that is I have to talk to a lot of people that's talked to me about their job struggles and so forth. I have to give credit even to the people that I was surrounded by as well that helped me to, keep pushing me. But I'm a financial advisor doing absolutely what I love, what I do if I didn't get paid for. But at the same time, my company paid me for my work. Like to me, that's amazing. That's priceless. And they give me all the resources that I need. This is something I would do on my own if I had to. But instead, I have a company that give me the resources. They give me the platform that I need. They give me the connections. They give me the mentors. They give me the sponsors that I need. So it's a fulfilling job. And us women, we know that we have a lot of obstacles on the way to trying to achieve the place that we're trying to get to. And so one of my biggest ones was my father. Like I said, my father passed while I was studying for my test, and grateful, extremely grateful for the company that I had that was very supportive, restarted my time to start back over. But I could have stopped right there, and for a second I was like, I don't, forget this test, forget it all. But I was able to regroup with the support that I had around me. And like Carrie said, these programs can be challenging. So I actually passed the test that's it's tough, it is challenging, but at any time you can buck, I feel like if you allow me to study anything that I can pass the test. And so I was able to come on the other side and not only pass but excel, in my role. And I'm able to give back, give back to other women of all ages. It really doesn't matter whether young or whether old. So my biggest accomplishment, like I'm actually doing what I love and it's impacting people, is impacting the world. It's making my father who's gone proud. It's making my mom proud, so doing what I love, and what I love is actually changes lives for other people. That's what I'm grateful for, and that's what I'm most proud of.
Thank you. Great answer, both of you. And so final question, if you can answer this, please, in a minute or less. This might be hard because this is a good one. What advice would you give your younger self? And Carrie, we can start with you.
Advice that I would give my younger self. I would say like believing in yourself. When I first, I really wanted to be an advisor, but I had in my head that I was an awful test taker. And I never, I was like, oh no, you have to take like 2 tests to get this job that are like really long and really extensive. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to get that job. But then, I was like, but I'm going to try. So I like really dedicated myself and applied myself when I was studying. And I, I passed the test, of course now. And then when I went to go take a designation, I was getting like that anxiety again, like, oh no, like another test. And I found that because I had just like changed like my study habits and, have done like the work and like daily like research on different things, that the next test I went for, like I had to didn't hardly have to study as hard. Things were coming to me. So, and I passed that test, with like only a couple weeks of studying and way over the score that you needed. So I was like, oh my gosh, like now I don't have this anxiety around test taking anymore, which was really like crippling to me at one point. So I think just like believing in yourself and, applying yourself to, things that you really want to do, and not just stepping back because you have a thought in your head that you're not good at something.
Okay, Lakeisha, I'll let you wrap it up for us.
All right. So when I think about my younger self, I don't have too many regrets because of the people that surrounded me. But when you think about your younger self, you don't know as much as your older self know. You just don't know. You can't beat experience. And so what I just say, even to a younger person, don't be afraid to take risks, jump for the next opportunity. Like if opportunity come, it's okay because you got time. Youth is what you have, on your side. And so go ahead, take the risk. And the example I'm going to use, just like for me to become a financial advisor, I risked a position that I was in. I was a relationship manager. If I would have failed that test, then I wouldn't have had a job at that time. But I was so confident that I'm gonna pass this test, and so don't be afraid to take risks. What I say, keep your name clean in corporate America, making wise decisions. That's extremely important. You need somebody to tell you that as well. But and keep moving up, keep learning, keep challenging yourself, and don't be stagnant. Be self-driven. Don't wait. And choose a mentor young, because you don't know all the answers. Not just because of your age, but because of some people just have more experience. So keep a good seasoned mentor around yourself.
Thank you so much, Lakeisha and Carrie, for joining us today and for sharing such fantastic advice. And thanks to all of you who tuned in for the discussion. As a reminder, we'll be sending out a recording of today's event, along with resources to learn more about opportunities at Merrill. In the meantime, be sure to check out Merrill's profile and jobs on Fairygodboss. Also, we'd love to hear your feedback to help us improve future events. Please head to the Typeform tab on the right side of your screen to share your thoughts in a 1-minute survey. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.